Adewale Adebayo, hey, he come out, can't give Tinubu woto. He can't tell Tinubu say, which kind of cry, they cry. They run kitty kata for everywhere because of increase in fuel. You see, you never see anything, no. He say waiting, they wait for una. He say the thing, he say he pile up, not be here. Now this one I can't make the man come talk say Tinubu is an hypocrite. He say he knows the effect of removing the fuel subsidy without palliative. He said, but yet he go ahead to remove them, ignoring the adverse effect on the economy. Because he talks the Tinubu's strategy of throwing money, to the citizen through cash transfer is the most insensible decision. He said it's too early for Tinubu to cry. Hey, my people. In fact, for this video, me just suffer, sit down and watch out from the beginning to the end, because I bring all the evidence come out small regarding this whole thing. Hey, to the extent to come the year say, say Tinubu. Now remember, say I mentioned that for the last video. Say Tinubu put call through the Chief Justice of the Federation. They come they discuss how they want to manipulate a tribunal thing of a thing where they do so. To the extent they don't deny them, they say they not talk so. I go see show the evidence. Say they not talk so, and say they not do this so. You know, say because say Tinubu himself don't get enemy, or you get plenty enemy. Politicians they there, me and you they there, other people they there. Hey, people they listen to a conversation. They listen to every move where they make. They look them, because you know what's in them. This government, according to the rumors where they go on, they say that for their own self-interest. Buhari chop, Tinubu must chop. But his wife can't tell us before they enter. Say, they don't need Nigerian money, that they are wealthy. Say they get money. Aha! If not get money, who can distribute that to us? We need them. Nigeria need them. We need them for this economy now. I said we're not bad. We need them. So you can't run your mouth. We don't need Nigerian money. We have money. You have this one. You have that one. If I hear wrong, even to the extent this wuru and whatever they do through politics, I don't know the beef way Tinubu gets with Emefiele, because this is just a main more than suspicion. It don't go beyond waiting with the thing to the extent Maso Parakon run comments when they talk say, hey, DSS, say DSS Yusuf, say me the beggar more. Say the man is after his life because he talk. He said not be only Emefiele na dey there, not be only Kanu na dey there. They say plenty people wey DSS old state. They say the people they plenty for their camp there. They say courage lawyers. Some they don't spend 15 years for there. They old, they don't agree to charge them to courts. The thing we did this matter and I be say, who this DSS they work for? Because this is just a main DSS. This is just a main office or a main title. This one, they work for somebody where be say if you just talk, the next thing you don't go land for the DSS camp. Hey, that the man run come out to say he don't put he don't tell Nigerians say this DSS is after his life because don't they get threat, and from the message where he write for Twitter, everything is geared towards him. Hey, my people. I'll be here. Get to greet una area. Hey, I salute. I greet una. Una welcome to Bod TV board. Now this news and many other news don't want bring comment. Everywhere don't scatter. They say even surfing, even the richest, now they cry now, not being with the poorest. My people, if the rich they cry, they wait till the poor one can't do. To the extent, even Tinubu himself don't come out the cash transfer we say one, because he don't see think say it don't make sense. All the people they advise them, they don't advise them wrongly. According to the year one is the one they talk say, the effect of this first subsidy now be this one but the thing never reach 1 month, it never reach 2 months, it never reach 6 months. Say from 6 months now we'll come begin to see the benefits of the first subsidy. So now the hard parts now we they pass through. So my people, okay. Even the labor. That one come still wrong, come and come see the talk. He said Tinubu, he said na dictatorial, dictatorate leadership na day. Say na wetin dey in mind na he want do. Say everything wey he want do, he dey in mind. He say no they take anybody advice. He say na the only best way they take it. And people will be saying if he feel say they know that's people will be say they be the same people like Cam. Now they take the advice. You see, even if you tell and say this thing not good, you say not go listen to you. You see, it's a dictatorship. You say that Tinubu be. You say Tinubu not get, and if you see how this man they nya pra about Tinubu matter, hey, to the extent, in second receive woto. My people, now this you may not be like say the thing too long. Now this news and plenty things now one give you now small. I will just one summary. And people on that Bod TV board. I better not forget to make you like, subscribe, make you share this video. And not only that, this one I just summary of waiting happened for the few hours. Now I bring come on our table. Make una see know waiting the happen for our country. I go see you again for my next video on a Bod TV board. Bye.
Just here to say thank you. A lot of people do not know that while Nigeria has not been engulfed in flame, it's because there is a thing in our heart that is telling us that Obi is coming. The reason people are still tolerating that a man will wake up one day and punish his people from 185 to 617 is because some people are saying if we take this person on, it may affect the process that Obi is coming. I want you to know how God has blessed a man that his aura, his presence, his person commands peace, commands calm. You know, some people, when they panted around that we are going to give people hope, I told people this is renewed hopelessness. Who is now correct? It's enough to believe that the past president failed. But it is terrible that somebody came in and from the first day in office achieved all the failure that took the man 8 years to achieve. The first day in office, he achieved the same failure that took the worst president of 9 years to achieve. From 185 to 617. He said subsidy is not good. And I agree. And then I warned that when we said subsidy is not good, we were going to be wise coming out of it.
Details this moment, we have marketing wing of our company. They adjust prices depending on the market realities, and this is really what it's about. This is the meaning of making sure that the market regulates itself, so that prices will go up and sometimes they will come down also. And this is really what we are seeing. In reality, this is how the market works. There is no supply issue completely. It is not a supply. When you go to the market, you buy the product, you come to the market and sell it at its ongoing, its prevailing market price. Nothing to do with supply. We don't have supply issues. There are a robust supply. We have over 32 days of supply in country. That's not a problem. What I know is that the market forces will regulate the market. Prices will go down sometimes. Sometimes it will go up, but there will be stability of supply. And I'm also assuring Nigerians that this is the best way to go forward, so that we can adjust prices when market goes. I don't have the details this moment, but I know that our marketing wing acts just every other company in this business. I know that a number of companies have imported petroleum products today, PMS. So many of them are online. I'm sure my colleague will confirm this. So market forces have started to play. People have started having confidence in the market, and the private sector people are now importing products. But there's no way they can recover their costs if they cannot take market reflective costs.
Did you see this coming? Do you accept the explanation of the NNPC?
Well, the NNPC have not provided any explanation. You can see that the group managing director was talking of finding out from their marketing department. I don't think they have provided any explanation. And they have no business, again, from what he's saying, if the importation of product is no longer within their control. If you ask whether I invested this coming, yes and no. Yes, in the sense that government thought they have been outsmarted by what Nigerians felt, was not a good negotiation with labor. But within us, we got the best bargain that could have salvaged the suffering of Nigerians when we opted for the CNG agreement. The CNG agreement we got and we signed without reducing the price of petroleum products, which was what the expectation of Nigeria was, thought that would have given us a product that is an alternative that will sell at probably less than 100 naira per liter. And if that one has started operation today, I think government would have reviewed their folly in increasing the pump price of petroleum product. Now, while we are trying to consummate on that, they now came out again for an assault, a further assault on labor and citizens of Nigeria. I think Nigerians should see it beyond, just prices of PMS, and see that government is on daily basis attacking Nigerians. Government is on daily basis confronting Nigerians.
As a leader of labor, discussing with government, and you woke up, I'm not sure, you got a call to say there will be a change in the price. Did this come to you as a shock or an embarrassment of some sort, that you tried your effort to make sure that government stand down on the increase of the price and it failed? That is the position of my question.
The present government you are seeing cannot call me to say they want to increase petroleum product. It is a government that is dictatorial. It's a government that acts on its own. It's a government that takes an action. What is my responsibility is the reaction of Nigerians when we weigh all the options available to us. It's a government that it's a government that prefers to get a court injunction. It's a government that prepares to do some other undercurrent things that threaten you. So it's not a government that you say will call you to say they want to increase fuel price. But one clear thing about it is that if they call me, they will know that I will say no. So that one is clear. And it is not in our character as labor to be on bed with government, especially when their actions and pronouncements are anti-people. So to ask me whether, they called me, whether I should be working with them on this, I can't work with them as far as it has to do with deceiving Nigerians, punishing Nigerians. We will have to maintain our various positions, and the Nigerians are in a better position to judge. Government has attacked workers on the issue of threat to increase electricity tariff. Government has attacked Nigerian students on the threat to introduce school fees and all. So there must be something that is behind this. So I think Nigerians should look at it while we're on standby, waiting for this action. Because if whether there will be any clash, yes, or how and when it will start, Nigerians should determine in the next few days.
Accused labor unions of being hypocritical. And now we have seen the effect of that removal of fuel subsidy. The hardship, the pain that Nigerians are experiencing. President Tinubus himself says it's like childbirth pain. World Bank says about 7.1 million people will join the poverty trap. Now it looks like it's not just 7.1 that will join. I mean, all of us are already there. Do you still hold on to your position that those who criticize the manner in which the Tinubus administration removed the fuel subsidy, removing the subsidy before thinking of palliatives, not even thinking through the palliatives properly, and making Nigerians lose almost 3 months in returns, suffering? Do you still think that people who criticize the policy are hypocrites?
There are two types of people who criticize the policy. Some of them are hypocrites, some of them are consistent. Those who are opposed to subsidy removal, like me and other people, they have grounds to criticize the program. But those who supported anyone, any party, any platform that said they will remove subsidy on day one. They are hypocritical. Once you agree to throw a 5-year-old child from 10th floor of a building, you cannot say, I'm surprised that the child broke the limbs. So that is the point that I'm making. There is no way you implement the policy that they are implementing now that you are not going to have the same consequences. Economics does not admit of cheating. You can cheat in politics. You can inflate your numbers in politics. But when it comes to economics, you can't. You have to take the right policy. If you don't take the right policies, the consequences of the wrong policies will follow. You remember that when we are talking of hypocrites, the hypocrites did not start with the labor union. The hypocrites started with President Tinubus himself, who opposed President Jonathan when he had a smaller amount of subsidy adjustment. And all of them went on the street and said, you cannot do this, the whole country will collapse. And then when they came to power, they went in the opposite direction and finished everything once and for all. So it is not only one person or the other. It's not a political statement when you say that people are hypocritical. Just look at the position they took before and look at the position they are taking now. If there is inconsistency in it, there's no logic in the change of opinion, you can say they are hypocritical. So I'm not of the view that we should have taken the subsidy off. We could predict it. We were discussing it. So nobody can pretend that they are not aware that it will affect factor cost. And if it affects factor cost, it will affect cost of living. If it affects cost of living, more people will go into poverty. So there's nothing new there. That's what is natural consequence. And that was why during the presidential debate, we were pushing alternative view that we should not do it. But you have done it now. Nothing has surprised me at all. In fact, it appears this might just be the beginning, except drastic steps are taken to go off that line.
All right, let's delve into that. Those drastic steps you mentioned. What looks like drastic steps to be taken by this administration, particularly the president? He has announced that he'll be reviewing the 8,000 naira earlier promised as a way of palliatives to 12 million households in Nigeria, saying that following feedback, it's clearly not going to be sufficient. As a way of recommendation, what are these drastic steps? What should palliative look like for the Nigerian people?
First, we should stop misusing the word palliative. With this 8,000 naira, which is a carryover from the existing budget, 2023 budget, because the carryover is a byproduct of the plan that Buhari administration left behind as to how they will manage. Even this 800 million from the World Bank was negotiated by the past government. So policy watchers should not behave as if they didn't know that it was in the offing. It is, let me use a very polite language, it is a band-aid for a decapitated person. So it doesn't make any sense at all. And it appears as if the government is not aware of what we call monetary neutrality. When you have no food, when you have no means of transportation, when you have no medical care, throwing money at you is not going to increase the number of service providers. It's not going to increase the value of real goods in the market. What it's going to do is that, one, there'll be wastage. That money will not be well used. Secondly, when the money gets to the end user, it is useless to them in real terms because they don't have the goods to chase with the money. And in the end, it may cause a little bit of inflation. That's all it can do. So the way to go about it now is that if the consensus, as it appears that Nigerian elites they are behaving as if there's no alternative to subsidy removal. So the subsidy has gone. I don't agree with it, but it's the policy of the government. And it appears as if almost every mainstream political party analyst agrees with that bad policy.
Anything that happened to me today and to my family and to my colleagues that are here, please, Nigerians should hold Magaji Yusuf Bichi, the director, DSS, responsible. I repeat it again. Anything that happens to me today, Maxwell Opera, is saying that the director, SSS, Yusuf Magaji Bichi, should be held responsible. He is the principal suspect. What do I mean? I have written to the the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that as a matter of urgency, he should remove the director of DSS. He lacks the legal capacity, the moral capacity, and the physical capacity to hold such a important position. We came here day before yesterday, that was on the 17th. We said, no, you cannot continue to keep people unlawfully in your own custody, even in the face of court judgment. As I speak to you now, I have 11 court orders directing the DSS director to release my clients. He refused them access to their family. He refused them access to their lawyers. He refused them access to everything. And I have written to the president on this issue. And when this particular MFLA came up, we said, of course, if there is somebody that is a victim of MFLA, I think I should be the one. MFLA and Bauer connived and prefer a charge against me before FCT High Court, which I'm facing the trial. But that does not mean that I will allow our law to be breached. Let us get it right. They called me that I am a lawyer to Nnamdi Kanu, to IPOB. I want to reiterate, I want to state that yes, I am a lawyer to IPOB, I am a lawyer to Nnamdi Kanu. And I also want to educate the DSS director that if Nnamdi Kanu cannot produce a lawyer, the government have it as a responsibility to provide a legal practitioner for one for him. That's why we have Citizens' Rights of Federal Minister of Justice. That's why we have Legal Aid Council. That's why we have a Public Complaint Commission and the National Human Rights Commission. So that one is clear. Then calling us a charge and bail lawyer. That one is a civil matter, which he is coming to explain to court what he means by charge and bail lawyer. I received more than 4,000 calls yesterday from different countries calling me about this particular issue. When is it an offense for a lawyer to represent a suspect? When is it an offense for a lawyer to represent somebody that is being accused of terrorism? Somebody represented Kabiru Sokoto here, and nobody called that person a terrorist. Simply because I offered legal services to Nnamdi Kanu and I am members of IPOB, and he's calling me a terrorist. He will come to explain that. But as a matter of urgency, he should respect himself by stepping aside while investigation continues. I have written to the president, I have written to the Senate president, I have written to the Speaker, House of Representatives, I have written to the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, I have written to the NBA president, and they should, as a matter of fact, constitute investigation. Nigerians should hear my voice. Yusuf Bichi, the director, DSS, is after my life. Anything that happens to me today, or to my family, or to members of my colleagues here, please, the DSS director is my principal suspect, and they should get him arrested immediately.
An unverified DSS Twitter account posted a series of tweets accusing Okpara of mobilizing other like-minded lawyers against the DSS DG. The tweets went further to describe him as a Biafran Republic agitator. Well, let's take the tweets. Charge and bail over zealous, uninformed IPOB ESN lawyer Maxwell Okpara mobilizes other like-minded lawyers against DGSS. Futile efforts. Well, Nigerians, beware. This is in bad faith. Transferred aggression. The Biafran Republic agitator and outlawed IPOB counsel defending the suspended CBN governor. Is IPOB defending one of theirs? What a contradiction. What's the connection? Is someone telling us something? May Maxwell be properly educated on points of law, please. Well, let's take some reactions. This is from Badebo, who wrote, "The interesting thing about this group of 60 lawyers is that their president is Ahmed Tijani. But hey, the DSS must involve the IPOB to please their grandmasters and drive a narrative. The gate is real against the whole tribe, their people, and their religion." Well, Olufemi wrote, "It is instructive to note
that this tweet is from a public institution whose mandate within the country includes counterintelligence, internal security, counter-terrorism, and surveillance, as well as investigating some other types of serious crimes against the state. Its primary responsibility includes the collection of intelligence for good governance and national safety. It is structured to protect the state and its officials, citizens, critical resources, and infrastructure from domestic threats. Let that sink in. Well, Kweku wrote, that DSS tweet wasn't signed by the official spokesperson. As with other tweets, this leads me to conclude that it's deliberate to distract us from Tinubu and INEC's failures at the tribunal. Rufai, while I catch my breath before we go further, I did try to reach out to the DSS and the spokesperson. I haven't gotten a response yet. But I mean, this tweet, if it is actually from an official DSS account, I mean, this DSS account has been there for what?
This March of this year was when they launched.
When they launched.
The official handle of the DSS.
Official handle. So we have to wait to make sure that the spokesman comes out with this statement, because if this is true, this is completely unacceptable. Rufai.
Okay, I mean, I'll send Oga Peter Afunaya a message.
I sent him a message this morning.
I am urging, if this is true, let's put a caveat.
Yes.
If this is true, it is sad how low our country has become. And all the things they say about DSS, about political slant, is beginning to reign supreme. And in fact, if this is true, we should cry for our country. And what there should be is there should be a collective purge of the DSS. The DSS is an elite security unit. When I think of the DSS, you think of the likes of MI6. You think of the likes of CIA, FBI, and you think of that elite state security service. But we have now been reduced to Twitter water by our security service. In fact, the security service should be so reserved that you don't need to see some things being put out there. Even the Stasi of Eastern Germany will not be so low to come to this extent to start Twitter water.
Right.
And that's even a security service that clamped down on a lot of people, that did a lot of harm to people when they were still Eastern Germany. So we would like to take their reaction, but this is a new low for Nigeria. And this is something all of us should cry about. But going forward, I think the National Security Advisor needs to meet with the president, and we really need to start rejigging. One, what makes up the Department of State Security. Two, our security architecture. This is a low.
Absolutely. Ayo.
Yes, it is. So just a quick overview of their handle, just to see that this is not the first information. They've actually been updating Nigerians via that platform since 6th of March when they joined social media platforms. It's as official DSS NG, and they're on Facebook, Instagram,
But they are not
Twitter.
verified.
There's
not the blue check
They
mark.
removed all the verifications recently. They actually had
But there
verification
was an
before.
announcement
There was
on
a
the 6th of
verification.
March that DSS, and I remember the whole, people said, we have to be careful of our tweets now. They are watching, and they have released press statements and others on their
that
platform,
account,
that particular account. They have 101.7 thousand
I
followers
saw
on
that,
that account.
yeah.
Now, in terms of the details of what they've mentioned, if you look at the lawyer that's in question, Mr. Maxwell Okpara, this is not the first time Mr. Maxwell Okpara has spoken up or perhaps even gone to court to defend obedience or adherence to the rule of law. In 2021, he took the case of the former IG of police suing the President Muhammadu Buhari, to court as well. So just to address that fact that, because there's a linkage between him defending Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Godwin Emefiele, the suspended CBN governor, and the terrorism charge they're trying to push or promote. It is irresponsible if this is true, because that was posted 21 hours ago, and there's no statement. It's still there. They haven't released a counter statement to say, we remove ourselves from that particular statement. I think then it's like you said, Rufai, it is very sad that they now demonstrate that the accusations, which a few days ago on that same account they had said, oh, they are maligning their character, saying, spreading lies about them, identifying 5 newspapers, is actually true. It is disgraceful, and I believe that the DSS should have responded way longer than this and not take Nigerians for granted.
Absolutely. Well,
I want Tinubu to drive out, okay? Maybe disguise himself. Come on the streets, go to Wuse Market, go to markets in Lagos, go around and see what is happening in Nigeria. And then realize the suffering that Nigerians are going through.
Well, that could be a good idea, right? I mean, he said he's a musician.
Yes.
I mean, he should come out. Tinubu should come out and see how Nigerians are suffering. Well, in the meantime, the announcement made by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to review the proposed 8,000 naira conditional cash transfer to 12 million households meant to cushion the effect of the petrol subsidy removal is generating reactions. Well, in a statement by Dele Alake, the president's special advisor on special duties, communications and strategy, said the president also directed the immediate release of fertilizers and grains to approximately 50 million farmers and households in all the 36 states and the FCT. The president said the decision became necessary in light of views expressed by Nigerians against the cash transfer palliative. Well, let's take some tweets. This is from Daniel Rega, who wrote, Tinubu distributing fertilizers and grains to farmers is practically worthless as the monthly 8,000 naira. None of these plans address the pressing issues in Nigeria. The APC knows what to do, but still acting reluctant because it might not benefit those in power. This government isn't serious yet. Well, Dikbo actually posed different options in revamping our economy. He wrote, welcome more investors, equal jobs, increase minimum wage immediately, manage inflation, invest in human capital, equal skills plus job, create an enabling environment, equals jobs, invest more in informal sector, equals job, reduce the cost of governance, equals savings, stabilize food prices, equals food security, invest in population control, address poverty head-on, reduce inequality, tackle insecurity, tackle fake news. We can do these. We have the brains and the capacity to deliver. Nigeria will succeed. I really liked Dipo's tweet. Well, NAOB, the outgoing country director of Action Aid and the Center for Social Justice in Abuja on Wednesday, condemned the 8,000 naira cash transfer, saying it will only cause more inflation.
8,000 naira, for many, because of the earnings, this is going to cause more inflation. And if this is bringing down 8,000 naira is not up to $10 in the market today. And so what are you giving people? Are you trying to placate people, or are you giving this as a bribe to citizens?
As a bribe to citizens, I thought that was a very important soundbite. Let me take one more tweet from Dikbo, who wrote, I used to think urgent 2K tweets were all jokes. In reality, people really need that urgent 2K. Nigeria is tough, and the federal and state governments need to act urgently to ensure that the hardship is addressed. Dear President Tinubu, we need speedy actions. Ministers in place, ASAP. Palliatives delivered directly to the people. No corruption, no red tape, no unnecessary bureaucracy. It can be done. We have what it takes as a nation. And Kalu finally wrote 49 days. I guess that's how many days Tinubu's administration has been on, right? The largest economy in Africa has 1, no central bank governor. 2, no minister of finance or economy. No minister of petroleum or energy. No minister of budget, planning, or economic policy. I mean, obviously Nigerians are reacting because of the review that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said that he would do. But I also think that it is important that we highlight our Ministry of Agriculture at this point. I don't know if we can pull out that GFX where there was that breakdown in terms of the budget for the supplementary appropriation, where I believe it's about 19 billion naira that was budgeted to the Ministry of Agriculture to address massive destruction to farmlands due to flooding. I mean, this appears to be capital expenditure. But you know that the largest food subsidy program in the US's food stamps. I think that this is where this administration should turn their heads to.
Today, the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, and his national commissioners met with members of the various transport unions which the commission engaged during the 2023 elections. The meeting took stock of how the electoral officers who served as field supervisors carried out their assignments. Let's take a listen to Professor Yakubu.
We need to review the general state of preparedness for the 2023 general election. Number 2, voters' registration process and the associated issues of adequacy, timing, display of the voters' register for claims and objections, clean up of the voters' register, and collection of the PVCs, the permanent voters' card. 4, matters arising from the implementation of the expansion of voter access to polling units. Election day processes with reference to forward logistics in terms of transportation of personnel and delivery of materials to registration area centers and the polling units.
Well, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has clarified that the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, did not have a telephone conversation with President Bola Tinubu or anyone else on the ongoing presidential election petition on the 2023 election. The Apex Court said Justice Ariwoola neither spoke with Tinubu nor the Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, with a view to pressurizing the presidential election petition tribunal on the likely judgment to give in respect of the petitions. The Apex Court's Director of Press and Information, Akande Festus, in a statement issued earlier today, says in view of the rumor currently circulating in the social media space that the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, had a telephone conversation with His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Director General of the DSS with a view to pressurizing the presidential election petition tribunal on the likely judgment to give, it is imperative to state clearly that there is no iota of truth in the narrative, as there was no such telephone conversation between the CJN and anyone. The statement went further to say, if this current trend of falsehood and mudslinging sustained, our nation may not make the desired progress. We'll get to that matter just in a moment. Let's tell you that in a dramatic turn of event, President Bola Tinubu said his administration will review its earlier plan to distribute monthly cash grants of 8,000 naira to 12 million households for 6 months as part of efforts to assuage the hardship occasioned by fuel subsidy removal. This followed public criticisms of the policy, with the organized labor saying it falls short of the level of intervention required to ease the pains of vulnerable Nigerians. These are some of the highlights in the statement released by Mr. Dele Alake, saying that the president and the administration will review the process and they are aware of the recent reactions of Nigerians in the policy made over the last few weeks, and also there's going to be that the president had directed to review the cash transfer program, which aimed at giving 8,000 naira to 12 million Nigerians of the poorest households. It also stated that the cash program is not only the item in the whole gamut of the relief package, and the president has now directed that fertilizers and grains should be distributed to about 50 million farmers across the nation. He also instructed the immediate release of some of this support to help in securing food on the table of Nigerians. The president said that he's committed to prioritizing the well-being of Nigerians and has taken previous decisions such as tax reforms to address their concerns.
This is Bod TV Bod. In case the first time you come here, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more uploads.